And what if I told you that in the next hour your life can start to change from within, that the conscious relationship you yearn for, the stability you dream of, the emotional healing you so desperately need, do not depend on time, nor on luck, nor on everything outside falling into place. They depend on a single thing, on how you're treating yourself in this very moment, that when you don't feel sufficient, when you abandon yourself in silence, when you wait for something external to come and give you value, everything gets delayed. But when you decide here and now to return to yourself, to listen to yourself, to speak to yourself with love, to look at yourself with compassion, reality begins to move, not by magic but because your energy changes, because you stop vibrating in lack and begin to inhabit worthiness. As Louise Hay said clearly, when you truly love yourself, everything in your life starts to work, and that love isn't a concept, it's a practice, a look in the mirror, an affirmation spoken from the heart. It's choosing yourself, even if you don't yet know how. This video isn't just information, it's a sacred moment with you, an invitation to reclaim the most valuable thing you have, your relationship with yourself. And if you're here, it's because you're already ready to begin. Would you be willing to receive it? Because that's what it is, what you're about to activate. It's not about magic or fantasy. It's about connecting with a truth that has always been within you, your ability to create a new reality from within. This process has transformed the lives of thousands of people, and today it can transform yours too. Louise Hay taught us that when we change what we think of ourselves, everything in our life begins to change. Because it's not just about wanting something, it's about knowing you deserve it, here and now. It's not about waiting for someone to validate you, nor is it about pretending to be confident while you secretly believe you're not enough. And it's not about repeating empty affirmations if deep down you continue to criticize yourself in silence. Working on self-esteem is much more profound than that. It's an intentional choice to stop being your own enemy. It's looking at yourself with compassion even while you're still in the process. It's speaking to yourself with love over and over again until that love becomes your truth. Louise Hay said it clearly, self-love isn't vanity, it's the recognition of the soul. And when you truly practice it, life always responds to you. Most people live trapped in the same thoughts they've been repeating for years. They wait for the ideal moment to feel valuable, as if one day something external will magically come to validate them. But that day never arrives, because it's not about waiting, it's about knowing that you are already enough. Knowing that your worth doesn't depend on the body you have, nor on how many people approve of you, nor on how much you have achieved. It's about aligning your energy with that deep internal certainty so that reality has no choice but to reflect it. Think of someone who looks at themselves in the mirror with disgust every day, who speaks to themselves harshly, who compares themselves, who judges themselves. Do you know what that person manifests? Relationships where they are also ignored, bosses who don't recognize them, opportunities that vanish. It's not because they don't deserve it, it's because they don't yet believe it. Louise Hay put it this way, no matter what others say, if you don't love yourself, no one can fill that void for you, and it's not just emotional. Low self-esteem also manifests in the body. When you constantly criticize yourself, your mind registers it as a threat. Your body enters an alert state, it tenses up, it blocks, and if this is repeated every day, it begins to get sick. Louise Hay taught that behind many illnesses lies a negative thought sustained for years. Depression, for example, doesn't always start with a major trauma. Sometimes it begins with something subtle. I'm a failure. I never do anything right. Why even try if I'm worthless? Thoughts like these, repeated in silence, gradually extinguish your energy. Your immune system weakens. The body stops producing certain feel-good chemicals. and sadness takes hold. Not because something is broken within you, but because you have disconnected from self-love. But the good news is this: yes, a thought can make you sick, but another one can heal you, and that's where the true transformation begins. For too long you've been led to believe that loving yourself is difficult, that it takes years, that you need to heal 1,000 wounds before you feel worthy. But the truth is, you don't have to wait anymore. Transformation doesn't begin when everything is in order. It starts when you decide to stop rejecting yourself, when you choose, even for just an instant, to treat yourself with the same love you would use to care for someone you deeply love. You don't need a lifetime to change, just a single moment of awareness. One instant where you say, I no longer speak to myself with hatred. I no longer punish myself. From today on, I am my safe place. That moment can be now. It doesn't matter where you are in the process. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed or how much pain you're carrying. You are not here by accident. Your soul brought you to this very point so that you would remember something essential. What you have been searching for outside has always been within you. Today is the day you can begin to look at yourself differently. And when you change that gaze, the entire world begins to treat you as you truly deserve. When you don't value yourself, you attract those who won't value you either. And not because you deserve it, but because you vibrate from a place where mistreatment feels familiar. Low self-esteem doesn't scream, "Don't love me," but it does whisper in silence, "Accept me as I am. Do with me what you want. I don't matter that much." And that whisper, without meaning to, becomes an open invitation for people who seek to take advantage. Manipulative, controlling, emotionally absent, or even abusive people who quickly detect who doesn't feel sufficient and feed on that. Men and women with low self-esteem become magnets for unbalanced relationships, where one gives everything and the other only receives. Where one justifies, endures, and stays silent in the hope of being loved one day, but no one is going to give you the love that you deny yourself. As Louise Hay used to say, you will never attract someone who values you if you don't first learn to value yourself. And yes, it can hurt to recognize it. It hurts to admit that you have stooped, that you have allowed things you didn't deserve, that you have called love what was actually need. But it is also profoundly liberating, because when you see it clearly, you can change it. You can stop accepting scraps. You can learn to say no, and you can begin to attract people who reflect the respect, care, and dignity with which you are beginning to treat yourself. Everything changes when you change, and everything begins when, instead of begging for love, you give it to yourself. Your mind doesn't just think, it creates. And when you believe, even in silence, that you don't deserve good things, that love is slow to come, that abundance is for others, or that healing takes a lifetime, your mind takes care of making it a reality. Not because you are less, not because you are broken, but because your mind obeys the instructions that you yourself, unknowingly, have been repeating for years. Every thought is a command. Every phrase like "this is too difficult," "I have no luck," or "I'm not worth that much," becomes a direct order to the universe and to your body. And the result is a life that confirms that old program over and over again. Louise said, "We are responsible for our experiences. Every thought we have is creating our future." And if that sounds harsh, it's also profoundly hopeful, because if you created that limited version, you can also create a new one. When you change your inner dialogue, when you start saying, "I am ready to receive the best, I open myself to love, I deserve abundance, I am enough," then your mind begins to build a new reality that aligns with that certainty. You don't need luck. You don't need to exhaust yourself with effort. You just need to stop repeating that you can't and start speaking to yourself as someone who is already healing. Low self-esteem doesn't just limit you, it consumes you from within. And if you don't face it head on, if you don't start to heal that relationship with yourself, It can end up breaking not only your peace, but also your mental health, because no one is born feeling insufficient. We learn to doubt our worth when we were compared, when we were criticized, when we were made to feel we weren't enough. And the most painful thing is that, over time, those external voices become our own. The criticism becomes internal, and that silent, constant, cruel criticism leaves invisible scars. Louise Hay taught that the body screams what the mind silences, and the same happens with the psyche. When you spend years telling yourself you're worthless, that you can't, that you don't deserve, your nervous system begins to shut down. This is how depression starts. It doesn't always arrive with tears. Sometimes it comes with apathy, with that feeling of emptiness, with a loss of enthusiasm, with that internal voice that repeats, "Why get up? Why try to change if you can't? Who really cares about you?" And the more you repeat these ideas, the more real they feel, because what we think, we feel, and what we feel becomes our biology. Depression isn't a weakness, it's an emotional consequence of having lived too long denying yourself. It's the result of carrying a silent war against your own being. And yes, it can manifest in the form of chronic fatigue, insomnia, digestive problems, lack of concentration, or even physical illnesses, because when you don't love yourself, everything in you suffers, the mind, the body, the soul. But you are not broken, you are just tired of pretending that everything is okay while you abandon yourself inside. And here comes the most hopeful truth of all. Depression is not a destination, it's a signal that the time has come to love yourself as you never have before, to speak to yourself with tenderness, to set boundaries, to ask for help if you need it. No matter how much you have been hating yourself, you can always begin to love yourself. Today, studies have shown that the brain doesn't distinguish between what you live and what you mentally repeat over and over again. And what most people repeat are not thoughts of love, but of judgment, guilt, and self-abandonment. Your brain is a living archive of the past. It is programmed with the same thoughts, emotions, and beliefs you absorbed since childhood. I am not enough. Other people are better than me. No one will love me if I'm not perfect. And those thoughts, if you don't question them, become your identity. No matter how much your life changes on the outside, if inside you are still operating from the same wound, everything repeats itself. This is where chronic sadness, apathy, and disconnection are born, what we now call depression. Because when the brain is conditioned by years of devaluing, the body begins to resign itself, your energy drops, your motivation disappears, and everything feels heavy, as if moving forward were impossible. But here's the most important thing. You are not condemned to think this way forever. Luis reminded us that every thought we choose is a seed, and when you choose to stop reliving what broke you and start cultivating new thoughts like "I am enough," "I deserve to heal," "I am learning to love myself," your mind begins to reconfigure itself. You change your inner state, and by doing so, you open the door to new possibilities. It's not magic, it's neuroplasticity, it's energy, and above all, it's self-love, practiced with patience every day. The body is a reflection of what happens in the mind, and the mind, when it feels loved, heard, and cared for, responds. It's not theory, it's science, and it's also energy. It has been shown that when a person believes they are receiving something that will do them good, even if it's a placebo, their body begins to heal. Why? Because belief generates a real physical response. The same thing happens when you start treating yourself with love, when you get up and choose to move even if you don't feel like it, when you breathe consciously even if there is mental noise, when you repeat affirmations like, "I'm here for me, today I'm taking care of myself, my body and my mind are learning to trust again." That is also medicine. Do you know what happens when you exercise with presence? Your body releases chemicals that not only lift your spirits, but also rebuild the connection with you. Every movement is an act of dignity. Every drop of sweat is a declaration of life. And if you also accompany it with inner silence, even just 5 minutes of meditation, you begin to hear something deeper than your thoughts, your truth. When we truly love ourselves, we choose things that nourish our body, our mind, and our spirit. This also includes what you read, because the content you consume shapes what you believe is possible. Reading books that uplift you, watching messages that empower you, surrounding yourself with ideas that expand you is just as important as eating well. And yes, it also includes relationships, because when your self-esteem is wounded, it's easy to surround yourself with people who reinforce that pain, people who criticize you, belittle you, or are only close when they need you. Learning to set boundaries isn't selfishness, it's self-care. Distancing yourself from what is toxic isn't weakness, it's emotional maturity. You are not here to be anyone's emotional lifesaver. You are here to heal, rebuild, and remember who you are. And the more you surround yourself with relationships that add to your life, that listen to you without judgment, that allow you to be, the faster you heal, because love is also contagious. Manifestation is not just energy, it is a series of small decisions that align you with what you already know you deserve. You don't have to wait years, you don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to start showing your mind, your body, and your soul that this time you are serious about yourself, that this time you're going to stay. The mirror work, the most important encounter of the day, may sound simple, even strange, but looking at yourself in the mirror and speaking to yourself with love can be one of the most profound acts of healing you can do. Louise said that the mirror doesn't lie. There you can't escape or pretend. When you look directly into your eyes, you find yourself with your pain, with your judgments, with all that you carry, but also with your light, with your tenderness, with your desire to believe in yourself again. Many people say they can't hold their gaze, that they cry, that they feel ashamed, and it makes sense because for years we have treated ourselves harshly, spoken to ourselves like enemies, demanded, compared, and ignored ourselves. Mirror work is not just a technique, it is a radical act of self-love, a reunion with your truth. When you look into your eyes and repeat words that heal, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind. That part of you that doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined, but that does record everything you say and feel. And when those words are filled with love, the subconscious begins to let go of the old story, the one that says you're not enough, that you don't deserve, that you can't. Here are some examples of what you can say to yourself in front of the mirror. Do it out loud, softly, with pauses. At first it may feel uncomfortable, but little by little it will feel like coming home. I forgive you for demanding so much of yourself. You are doing well. I am proud of you. I am proud of you. I no longer need anyone to choose me. I choose myself. You are enough just as you are today. I'm here. I will never abandon myself again. At first it may hurt, but that pain is a sign that you are touching something real. Do it every day, even for 2 minutes. Do it when you wake up, when you're about to leave, when you feel you're losing yourself. Do it in the light or in the dark, but do it with yourself, because if you can't look at yourself with love, no one can fill you from the outside. Louise Hay said that mirror work is a way of speaking to the soul. And when you speak to your soul with sweetness, your soul responds. Your self-esteem begins to heal. Your energy changes, and life begins to treat you as you begin to treat yourself. Self-forgiveness. Stopping punishing yourself is an act of love. Many people can't love themselves, not because they don't want to, but because deep down they believe they don't deserve it. They carry old guilt, mistakes they made, decisions they didn't know how to make, relationships where they betrayed themselves just for fear of being alone. And even if they try to move on, something inside them continues to sabotage them. It's the voice that says, Who do you think you are to deserve peace, love, success after what you did? It is that internal judge who never forgets, never forgives, and never rests. Louise Hay said that many illnesses begin with guilt because the body hears everything it can't let go of. The mind gets tangled up in what wasn't said, in what wasn't done better, in what can no longer be changed. Then insomnia appears, anxiety, chronic sadness, that feeling of being trapped in an eternal punishment. Even though on the outside it seems that everything is fine, but no one heals from punishment. No one heals from contempt. True healing begins when you stop treating yourself as the enemy. You can't go back. You can't change what happened, but you can change the way you talk to yourself today, the way you hold yourself today, the way you choose to move forward without that burden. Self-forgiveness is not justifying what you did. It's understanding that you did the best you could with the level of consciousness you had at that moment. And now, from another understanding, you can build something different. There is no punishment that can repair the past. Only love can do it. Louise summarized it like this: forgiveness opens the door to love, and that love begins with you. If you are ready today, if you are ready, repeat this affirmation out loud. I release the past. I allow myself to start anew. Say it even if your voice trembles. Loving yourself is also allowing yourself to feel. We have been taught that loving ourselves means always being well, that self-love looks perfect, that if you are sad, there is something wrong with you, and that idea is as toxic as it is false. Loving yourself is not demanding that you be happy all the time. It is not putting a mask on your emotions or pretending that nothing affects you. Loving yourself is giving yourself permission to feel, to cry, to not have answers, to not know what to do. Real self-esteem is not built on good days. It is built when you can hold yourself up on the gray days too, when you can say to yourself, I am sad and I still deserve my love. I am afraid and I still embrace myself. Louise said, what we accept, we transform. And she was right. When you fight against your sadness, you make it bigger. When you refuse to feel frustration, that energy gets stuck in your body. But when you breathe deeply and say to that emotion, I see you, you can be here, then it begins to dissolve. You are not broken for feeling, you are alive. And every emotion that appears has something to tell you. Allowing doesn't mean staying to live in the pain. It means recognizing it, listening to it, embracing it, and then letting it go. There will be days when you want to give up, and others when you feel you are not making progress. It's okay. That is also a cycle. That is also part of the process. Transformation is not linear, and neither is healing. The important thing is not to never fall, but to not leave yourself alone when you fall, to be there for yourself in the calm and in the storm, because that is also self-love, the beginning of a new relationship with yourself. Depression doesn't disappear overnight. Self-esteem isn't built in an afternoon. But every act of love you have with yourself moves energy. And that, even if you don't see it at first, changes everything. When you exercise, you're not just moving your body, you're telling yourself that you matter. When you speak to yourself with tenderness in front of the mirror, you're reminding your mind that you're no longer going to treat yourself with contempt. When you write, when you meditate, when you choose to move away from what hurts you, you are healing step by step, without rushing, but with intention. And little by little, what seemed impossible begins to be created. There is a day when you smile without forcing it, a day when you wake up without feeling so much weight, a day when you no longer need anyone's approval because you have already started to validate yourself. Louise Hay said that self-love is the foundation of all true changes, and she was right, because you cannot transform your life from punishment, only from love. And that love begins with you. Today you can start that relationship with yourself, a relationship without demand, without judgment, without masks, a real, intimate, sacred relationship. It doesn't matter how long you have been feeling lost. It doesn't matter how many times you have failed. What matters is what you choose to do today. So do it. Stand in front of the mirror, breathe, look into your eyes and say what you may have been waiting to hear for years. I'm here. I'm learning to love myself, and I will not let go. This is the beginning of a life with more compassion, more presence, more truth. Because yes, you can get out of the darkness, and yes, you deserve all the good things, and everything starts with how you decide to treat yourself today. How do you feel after hearing all this? What word, what phrase, what moment touched your heart? Don't hold it in. Write it down, share it. I will be responding to all messages with a lot of love. This is not just another channel. This is a safe space created with love so that you can be yourself, so that you can express yourself without masks, without judgment, without fear of not fitting in. There are no impossible expectations here. Here you don't have to prove anything. Here only one thing matters: that you return to yourself, that you feel accompanied, that you know that everything you are feeling has a place, that you have a place. Louise said, "When we truly love ourselves, everything in life works." And this channel is here to help you get to that place, step by step, at your own pace, in your own process. So tell me in the comments what part you connected with the most, where you felt something inside you loosen up, what you are ready to start healing today. Leave your experience, your reflection, and if you still don't know what to say, just write, "I am ready to start loving myself." Those words have power, because every time you say them, something in you begins to change. Remember to like this video if it helped you. Subscribe if you want to continue working on yourself from a loving and conscious place, and share this content with someone who needs it, because you never know who is waiting for this exact message to get back on their feet. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving yourself this moment. Thank you for not giving up on yourself. A new chapter of your story. And so, here we are. You've listened to these words, and a part of you is resonating with a truth you've always known, but perhaps forgot. You are not a problem to be fixed, but a human being to be loved. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. What you are feeling right now, the hesitation, the glimmer of hope, the quiet desire for change, is the first sign of a powerful shift. It is the beginning of a new chapter where you become the main character of your own life, not a supporting role in someone else's. This is the moment to stop waiting for a hero and to become one yourself. It's about taking small, intentional steps. It might be waking up and instead of immediately reaching for your phone, you spend 5 minutes in silence, just breathing and thanking your body for carrying you through another day. It might be looking in the mirror, and instead of listing all your flaws, you find one thing: a kindness in your eyes, the strength in your hands, and acknowledge it with gratitude. These are not grand gestures. They are sacred rituals that reconnect you to your own worth. The power of your inner voice. The most profound change happens when you become a compassionate witness to your own thoughts. For years, you've likely carried a critical, judgmental inner voice. It's the one that tells you you're not smart enough, pretty enough, or strong enough. It's a voice trained by the wounds of your past, and it feels like an undeniable truth. But here is your chance to rewrite that narrative. The next time that voice appears, do not fight it. Simply notice it. Say to yourself, "I see you, old thought, but I choose to believe something new." You can train your mind to be your greatest ally. Start by replacing one negative thought with a loving, truthful affirmation. Instead of thinking, "I'm a failure," try, "I am learning and growing every single day." Instead of, "I don't deserve good things," affirm, "I am open to receiving all the good that life has to offer me." This isn't about ignoring your pain. It's about acknowledging it and consciously choosing to water a new, more beautiful garden of thoughts. This simple, consistent practice is what builds a fortress of self-worth from the inside out. Reclaiming your energy. Your self-worth is not a static concept. It's an energetic reality that radiates from you. When you have low self-esteem, you are essentially signaling to the universe that you are not worthy of love, respect, or abundance. This creates an invisible barrier, pushing away the very things you desire. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly attract love, success, and joy? It's not magic, it's alignment. They are vibrating from a place of inherent worthiness. The beautiful part is that you can change your vibration at any moment. It starts by making decisions that honor your well-being. This might mean setting boundaries with a friend who drains you, saying no to an obligation that feels heavy, or spending time alone doing something that brings you genuine peace. Every single choice you make to care for yourself sends a powerful message to your mind, your body, and the universe. I am valuable. I am worthy of good things. This is how you stop chasing and start magnetizing. You don't have to work harder. You have to work smarter from a place of self-love. Your body as a sacred temple. The journey back to yourself is not just emotional, it is deeply physical. Your body holds the memory of every unspoken tear, every moment of stress, every wound. It speaks to you through aches, fatigue, and illness, trying to get your attention and tell you to slow down, to listen. True self-love involves treating your body like a sacred temple, not a machine to be pushed to its limits. This means nourishing it with wholesome food, moving it with joy, and resting it without guilt. Listen to your body's whispers before they become screams. A walk in nature, a conscious stretch, a warm bath. These are not luxuries. They are fundamental acts of self-care. When you are kind to your body, your mind follows. You begin to feel more centered, more present, and more alive. This creates a powerful feedback loop. As you nurture yourself physically, your mental and emotional state improves, and you feel more capable of handling life's challenges. This is the holistic healing that Louise Hay spoke of, the mind, body, and soul working in harmony, all guided by the gentle, unwavering power of love.